I think he, so far, obviously it was against a weaker opponent than we generally see the LeBlancs play against, but definitely looked really good on that champion, at least against Adiox's Victor. Obviously a whole different matchup today. Will not be the same one as we do load here onto the Rift. Now, Annie into LeBlanc, I guess the one thing about Annie is if you are holding that stun, it does make it a little bit harder to jump forward with your distortion and land any sort of static shift proc, because you can just get immediately stunned with the Annie point and click Q. And there is a lot of follow-up to that. If you do get hit by that, the Kai'Sa can come in, Alistair can come in, as well as the Viego. So do have to play a little bit more careful than you do against the likes of Victor that Nuli went up against last week.
Yeah, I think also there is the potential of Annie kind of forces LeBlanc into buying Merc trades at some point, which she doesn't really want to do. Obviously wants to rush out that Shiv as quick as possible, and if you can pick up the Sorks, there's a lot more damage. So it's an interesting pick for sure, and Pretender, he has gone for the lane dominance. He's taken the area and probably a Scorch. I think he might have had Absolute and Scorch along with it. So definitely wants to put the pressure on. Nuli as well, since this is still patch 13.12, does not have to take the DMAT, so can just go for the Scorch. And he gets that level 1 ward to make sure there's no solo start coming in.
Now, Pretender, at least last split, played a lot of Annie, looked really, really good on it. So I think it's good to see Frank going back to some of these champions that they're comfortable on. Kenny Chan, obviously, we haven't seen him play a carry jungler yet, so it'll be nice to see what he's like on the Viego. Hopefully he can put up a performance akin to the likes of Kongyue. It's certainly something that Frank need, but ultimately both of these teams are in contention for that 6th spot as we talked about earlier. So a lot on the line really, especially now that we are in the later stages of the split, coming into that 2nd round robin. Wins and losses just mean that much more than they did.
It really is insane to think about. And I want to come back to that point you said about, Pretender going back to some of those champs they played before. You have to think that after Frank, finishing that 1st round robin, they must have had some sort of discussion or talk about what they thought was going wrong. So maybe they think picking up some of these more successful champs for them in the past could be the way to do it. And maybe Kenny Chan will see more of a carry style from him from now on. We'll have to see how they develop over this week. But a win over West Point, while it's not the most difficult opponent, it would mean quite a lot for your standings at this point.
Yes, certainly. And I think last split as well, importantly, when Pretender was on this Annie, he was often the person to start these engages. He found really nice flanks, which did lead to a lot of their success. So going back to that, maybe that's just, giving Pretender the ability to start fights on his own accord. Might help this team a lot.
Pretender as well was one of those people that played a lot of different champs last split. And that makes me think as well that maybe what Frank just need is a bit of confidence, to be honest, because they looked very successful on a variety of different comps last split. So it surprises me that they can't, really get it together this split. But I think maybe after they pick up some more wins, they'll kind of be back to being able to play with confidence, because that's such a big thing in League of Legends. There's some fights and stuff that you wouldn't take, or you don't play them as aggressively as you should just because you're almost worried about this loss streak continuing. If they're able to turn it around, it would feel great for them, I'm sure.
And they really have to. Again, we are now into the 2nd round robin. It's so much more important to be picking up these wins, especially against teams that, in theory, you are better than. Like, their loss to Hellpigs, really uncharacteristic. But if they are to lose here, you have to start feeling that, well, maybe Frank are just roughly 6th spot on the leaderboard. And that's where they deserve to be. It's really surprising to sort of say that after how good they looked in the spring.
Now, I'm a big fan, I think, of how West Point have been drafting. I think West Point, they have a very good idea now of what works for them. And they seem to kind of get this every time. They just kind of give Nuli one of the strong mids on the patch, and Relia ends up with like a weak side top. And it's been looking really good for them. I think also, I feel like West Point's bot lane has been one of the more, I want to say, accepting almost of what's happening, right? Like if they're weak-sided, I think Hellpig's bot lane does as well too. If they're weak-sided, they're happy to give a little bit up and just like keep the game even. Now, it's not the same as putting up a carry performance, but it at least means that there's a chance for the top side and the mid jungle especially to do something.
Yeah, definitely. I am worried though about the bot side, not just because of their matchup, but because Kai'Sa is on one of them.
True.
That champion does look like pretty much far and beyond better than any other AD carry on the patch. obviously Zaya has her moments to shine, but the versatility that Kai'Sa offers any team comp is fairly unparalleled. It means you can draft in whatever way you want. She can build whatever items she wants. If you need to be more poke orientated, just you can pick up the Ludens. If you want to have AP, you can go for the Gwinsus. And there's also the AD build available as well.
Does feel pretty ridiculous just how many options she has. Highwing comes mid, helps Pretender shove, but there's a lot of people around. He's going to take some chunk here, you'd have to think. Oh.
Oh, okay. I think this is very smart. Pretender going to be stunned up. Will be likely getting fed here too, although Kaiwing comes in just in the nick of time to ensure this Annie does not go down. Will cost both flashes, though, from that support as well as Pretender on the Annie.
I think West Point there, Nuli wasn't level 6, so he couldn't come through the double chain, but they still get some solid chunk. But now, Frank, they're the ones with the river control, mid and bot priority. They might look to start up this dragon before Nocturne hits 6. I think ooh, or maybe they're going to invade him instead. Yeah, it looks like they are pushing him off that Grom. This would be big. If you can slow down Nocturne getting 6, it means a lot for the game.
Stun will land here onto Char, who does not have an available flash. Will be stunned up. It's first blood now. Going over to Eminem on this Kai'Sa. And that versatile build is getting a little bit sped up as 665 will channel the fear, but ultimately will not land. And Frank, I think, can look towards this dragon now, although...
They might just base.
Yeah.
We'll see what Kenny Chen does. But that was a big win for Frank. They get a lot of gold, take the kill and the Grom. I think wise by Frank to base. Probably know that if you do invest a lot of tempo into this drag, that you are most likely giving up the Herald. I think giving the Herald over to Shiv champs is a really bad idea. You know, they're going to get a lot of damage on the tower anyway. It gets them towards the Shiv even quicker. I think just making sure LeBlanc doesn't get that is really, really important. And obviously you can use it well with Kai'Sa when she gets that Shiv.
By the way, almost a 20 CS lead in the jungle.
Yeah, kind of crazy. I wonder how much of that is just, you know, 665 spending so much time around mid. You know, Nocturne, a champ that has very fast clear, but maybe just spent too much time trying to look for a play. And it does kind of make sense, right? And he is in a mobile mid, but normally you'd expect to see that punished at level 6 by the Nocturne. Not so much in the pre-6 ganks.
Yeah, and you have to feel like Pretender now very vulnerable. No flash available. There is flash on this LeBlanc as well as access to the double chain and Paranoia coming through as 665 just hit level 6. So I think now, at least for the next 2.5 or so minutes, Pretender on the Annie will have to be playing a lot safer. At the moment, though, playing a bit up in the lane, having Kaiwing there, sort of match the pressure as Kenny Chan starts this Herald. It will be noted by 665, but he is turning his attention towards this mid lane gank opportunity instead.
Pretender needs to be careful.
Yeah, Pretender is going to be Paranoia. It will land onto him, but a double tip is going to be the reaction. And now the team fight does slightly break out as really it's just members running away, but Eminem's coming up. He's gone the wrong way, perhaps. He's going to have to use that killer instinct to stay safe. And Kaiwing flash comes through. 665 will be taken down. There's a reset number 1 here for Kenny Chan. Does take that Nocturne. There's no real opportunity to kill Nuli here, but the first kill again of the skirmish coming out in favor of Frank, and they should be able to pick up this Rift Herald.
This is looking really, really good for Frank. I think importantly, you know, obviously the kill on the Rift Herald, but also you always feel like if Nocturne doesn't get something done with his first ult, that he's in a very bad spot, because you're not going to have it again for a while. And otherwise, you can't really offer that much to the early game. So Frank, they're probably going to pull fairly far ahead. They have brought Prage up though, so maybe they do want to try fight this. Pretender is bot without TP. Kenny Chan, I think he might have to let it reset. Oh, he's going to try finish it?
He does get it. But are they going to be able to pick up that eye?
Don't think so. Maybe they can push them out.
Honestly, just getting it away from West Point is like big enough, you feel?
Yeah, it's still good gold. And I think... Oh, they're going to go for it.
Kaiwing, Hex Flash over, will land that knock up and the headbutt onto Char there, but Char does manage to get away with so little HP as All Out comes through here from Solo Kill. He's looking for 665. He will find it. That's one reset as Kaiwing is looking for more here onto the backline. Prage will use that Feather Storm as Solo Kill getting extremely low as the zombie form coming in and finding the damage there will Prage, but so low health on the Zaya as flashes forward. 2 resets again for Kenny Chan, who will pick up this LeBlanc and secure himself another. That is 5 kills found there for Frank, as well as that Rift Herald and Solo Kill, the only casualty.
I think that was one of the most insane fights I've ever seen in the PCS. This went on for so long. And it all started, honestly, with kind of a disaster for West Point. Obviously, we had a break, after this. But yeah, it doesn't feel good when your Nocturne doesn't find anything straight away. They did force Sums and ult out of Eminem, which is going to make that follow-up fight much more difficult. No, he managed to get out. And I think it was when Pretender went bot that they went for that. But man, I really wish we saw a replay of the insane back end of that fight.
Look, I see the score lines, right? There's a 4-0 and 2 Viego, there's a 2-0 for Kaiser. But so far, at least, if we were just to finish right now and have to pick the MVP, I'm going Kaiwing. That guy found so much disruption and so many good angles here as we're looking at Kenny Chan. Look onto Cha here. Oh, he's an absolute boost away.
Almost got him. But man, look at the difference in jungle items now.
Yeah.
It's pretty disgusting. Now, the Rift Herald Eye did time out in that fight. I think it was just left on the floor, but obviously you have to still be very happy with that as Frank committed to the fight and did come away with the win.
Yeah, and this is more like the Frank we're used to.
It was really well played in the team fight, I have to say. Pretender, he's going the Rocket Belt Annie, I believe. So definitely really wants to engage. Oftentimes, we see the Leandries come out. And it kind of makes sense this game too, up against the Rel and the Scion, but maybe just has enough faith in his Kaiser to deal with the Scion that he can just play for those huge engages. Might also be that the Rocket Belt helps him survive up against Nocturne a little easier.
I also think at this stage, with how fed his carries are, he can just look to engage and let the boys take care of it. As Magnet Storm will come through, coming, tanking out, but he will be so unkillable. That's one kill found here already. It's going to go over to Kaiwing for the kill credit as Teleport comes in from Relia, as well as Solo Kill. It's 5 members strong. Heartbreaker will go over the wall here, trying to zone away Relia from anything. As Solo Kill goes forward, Featherstorm will be the answer. Prage now being looked at. He has no more defenses. He will be going down. Fair will land there as soon as that form's taken here from Kenny Chan. But it's Relia now also going to be found out of this bot lane. There's things going on all over the map as Solo Kill now trying to look for 665 as well. Looks like it won't happen. As the fight does fizzle out, it was overall a 3-0 in favor there of Frank.
Does kind of feel like it's personal at this point, Frank. I think they really are trying to say here that 6th spot is ours because they are just decimating West Point. I mean, to West Point's credit, in most of their games, even up against the stronger teams, they do manage to kind of remain competitive in the early game. It's really kind of in those like mid to late stages that you see them outclassed a little bit. They're here. Frank putting on an absolute performance. Heartsteel picked up by Cassante.
Okay, we don't really see this.
I guess he's just going to be smacking Scion for stacks.
Yeah.
I kind of dig it. I think Scion will still have more health though.
Should do.
Pretty crazy champ, of course. But 5-0-3 in the jungle here, and 665, he might not even get his red buff.
665 does have flash available.
Oh, we got
Spell
it.
shield comes through. We'll have to use that flash, but Kaiwing, quick on the sticks there, will find a flash, engage in return. A 665 tries to get away, but Kaiwing will take another one for his efforts. Now, Relia is very tanky here.
Yeah, he might be too tanky, I think, to be looked at, but you have to think that Kaiwing, the thought must have crossed his mind. Maybe I can go top after this. But I think just too much health on this Scion.
Yeah, I think the way Kenny Chan and Kaiwing have been playing this game has been pretty incredible. I think really using the jungle support synergy so well. And it does really remind me of the Frank of old. I think the only differences in general would see Solo Kill on something that can bring a lot to either a split push or a team fight, whereas in this game, we're happy to just tank up, play some disruptionness in these team fights. It is really, though, Kenny Chan and Kaiwing who are just taking over this map completely.
They are, and I think the solo kill tank thing is kind of important because I think, you know, in the playoffs at least, Frank found a lot more success when they moved solo kill away from the tanks.
Yeah, On Na, I think, was their best champion in playoffs.
Well, Kaiwing, he doesn't have ult, I believe. He used it topside before. He's still down.
He's going to get chained up, but is he the member they want to look for? Not really, as Kenny Chan and Eminem on the backside. Paranoia comes through. It will be onto this Kaiser, who immediately just flashes away, and now 665, you are so low. Nully, distortion over the wall. Again, that paranoia making it so hard to catch on. Pretender will land a stun here onto Nully, but it's going to be Relia that's trying to fight for that. And meanwhile, on the bot side, Char will be going down. That's one reset now for Kenny Chan. He's looking for Prage. Featherstorm comes out. Nice killer instinct to dodge any damage, but it's going to be Kenny Chan. He finds Prage here. Does he have the damage? Prage is kiting fairly well, but just does not have the damage. As Nully, again, is just going to have to run for his life. It's another teamfight win for the side of Frank, with only Kaiwing going down. But 665, you might have stayed away too long. We'll be running away. But man, Frank.
Yeah, that was a one-team fight completely without solo kill. Didn't even need to TP in. And man, the Kai'Sa and the Viego are out of control here. So strong, of course. And we said they needed to get ahead. They certainly have. And now I start to get pretty worried for West Point, because champs like LeBlanc really need a slow game, need time to scale up a bit, and also just benefit when no one else really has a lot of kill gold, because LeBlanc tends to just farm so fast. But in a game with this many kills, it's not too good. A lot committed here onto the Kai'Sa and can just flash away. And you really see the limitations of Nocturne, I think. You know, goes in, flashes burn, sure, but you lose all your health for it and all your impact on the fight as well. I did almost manage to turn it around despite that. Maybe if they were a bit closer in gold, could have seen West Point pick up this fight. Really nice, though, by Eminem and Kenny Chan. Just all game long, but in this fight as well, just really exemplifies these two champs. And Viego, I feel like it's the curse on it is starting to lift.
I want to say, by the way, you're a Nocturne, you want to look for the AD carry, you're level 9. The AD carry you're looking for is level 11, so yeah, feels pretty impossible to play as the Nocturne at this point. I feel like you almost just have to use Paranoia to limit vision, because if you go in, you're probably just going to get killed. And he will have that Proto Belt available for her now. I wonder what she's going second. It's the blasting one, so it's a little bit ambiguous to try and guess. But look at the gold. 10k at 17 minutes.
It's pretty crazy.
Won't be, I mean, Dragon isn't really the win con this game. I think at Baron, probably can just siege up, and you do have a little bit of wave clear on the Xayah, static shiv as well, but the Baron minions should be enough to break the base, or at least get close to it.
It can be difficult, I think, to actually finish the game versus Shiv champions sometimes. It does take a little bit longer than usual. But they can definitely do a Baron very fast with how fed their Kai'Sa especially is.
Yeah.
Light Cleaver on Kenny Chan. I think it's a pretty good pickup.
Yeah, helps you try and get through both that Rel and the Scion. I mean, the Scion's never going to kill anyone at this stage. Everyone's too strong, but killing him does take a long time still.
Wait a minute, how many hearts do? Oh, 94, yeah.
That's not that much, I think.
No, it's... I guess he is only hitting Scion.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And you have to wait for the cooldown as well. It hasn't had it for that long.
Well, 4 minutes on the next drag. I'd be surprised if Frank ended up waiting that long. I think they are strong enough that they can force dives. Do need to be a little careful, though. I think if LeBlanc is around, you know, can quickly find yourself under a tower with no creeps. Which is obviously not the best, as, yeah, waves are disappearing right before Pretender's eyes. He has the Proto Belt, though. That's a lot of engage, a lot of distance that can be covered. And the double Dark Seal for Frank, love it.
Yeah, 8 stacks on one, 6 on the other. I think Eminem at this point feels extremely hard to go up against. He should also be, when static shivers up, insta-clearing these minion waves. Although the engage will be found here. It should be an instant kill found onto Pretender. Are they strong enough to win the 4v5? I almost feel like yes, as we see Relia getting absolutely annihilated. That is a reset available, but will not be claimed, at least for now, for Kenny Chan. As it is just going to be a 1-for-1, but Frank at the moment at least should have the power to be able to start work on at least one of these towers. Solo kill will remain up here. It's going to take the focus of at least 3 members of West Point. And it should be Eminem, along with the rest of the team, picking up this mid lane inner. At 6-5, you have to be so careful there, pal. Kenny Chan will pick up that wolf. Pretty annoying when you're already this behind. Heartsteel stack here for solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, he has almost 4,000 health here. It's Nully actually having a bit of trouble. I mean, solo kill just has so much gold.
And it's just a static shiv.
Yeah. It really kind of waits for LeBlanc to, you know, she needs to hit those 2 and 3 items to really come online. Normally gets them very early though, with the shiv kind of accelerating her. 3 items now to M&M though, and that's a big problem, especially for the LeBlanc, because you want to W forward and land some Q auto attacks on the Kai'Sa, but when she can turn around and one-shot you like that, it suddenly becomes a bit harder.
Yeah, certainly does. Baron is alive, so I feel like Frank can pretty much at any time look to try and take it. There isn't all that much poke. There is obviously the LeBlanc, but with the current item she's sitting at, isn't that much of a threat when it comes to harassing around the Baron.
Looks like it's going to be Rylai's second for Pretender, I think. He does have a Giant's Belt in the inventory, and that would kind of make sense. We do see that a lot. Lots of pushing into this topside jungle here for Frank. Do need to be a bit careful face checking, but as long as it's Kaiwing, I think he'll probably survive. I think it is sort of scary to start up this Baron versus LeBlanc. Can just put down so much poke, but I think if they can make a pick or even just get an ultimate used out of someone, wouldn't be surprised to see Frank turn to it.
That's
that was
pathetic.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. She has kind of built to deal with other people, to be fair.
I think one Q from solo kill just there did more than an auto attack plus the LeBlanc combo.
Ooh. And I think Frank might start Baron. They're doing it over the wall currently. Oh.
Will be spotted out, but it's already at half. And teleport will be coming through here. It is going to be Match. Paranoia also going to be coming through. But with how low the Baron is, it should just be picked up. Frank, actually the opportunity to be stolen there, but it's going to be Relia who goes down almost immediately in this team fight. Prage has to be careful. There is still Killer Instinct available as Kaiwing hunting. Killer Instinct lands and Prage is eliminated. And Eminem's still going forward. Will commit that flash, but Char able to get away on that Rel. But it is going to be the Baron and 2 here found for Frank as... Ooh.
That was close.
Yeah, that Void Seeker almost lands. But with this, almost feel like they have the damage to just take it now. There's almost no wave clear. Night Harvester, is finished on Nully here, but still with the Baron minions, not all that much damage. Dragon spawning. Looks like attention might go towards that after these resets come in and do Dragon and start sieging on those side lanes, and I think you've got your recipe for success.
Speaking of recipe for success, take a look at M&M's items right now. Just picked up Sork Shoes and Medjai's, so that is a extremely fed Kai'Sa now. And we're going to replay. I mean, this is crazy about the Kai'Sa build as well. Just has so much DPS on a neutral objectives. Most poke champions cannot do this whatsoever, but the Baron is so low. By the time West Point show up, and also the Nocturne ulted an Alistar, which feels like maybe that is your only target, but really it's not a viable target, right? There's no way you're ever going to kill Alistar, especially not one that had that ult going. Really just kind of let M&M get on the back line right there. And Kaiwing, he's probably pretty happy that he's getting Nocturne engaged on.
I think lots of reason to be happy here if you are this Alistar. Kaiwing playing superbly this game. There's going to be another tower going down. The solo kill is going to have this inside track here in the mid lane and should draw a bit of attention. You can't really stand up to this tower knowing that the K'Sante is behind you, so this following minion wave should allow them to crack this inhib tower and follow up with the inhib soon after.
Yep, one inhib obviously is already down, and
solo kill going in 2-man. The Tofu strikes, lands a knock up, and Prage just disappeared. It's going to be another kill there. There's 2 found, 3 will be the next, and now 4. It's only 665 who does again get knocked up, and Killer Instinct does come through, but it should be 665 surviving on this fountain, although Wave Frank's positioning, it looks like they might want to get themselves at least one more kill. Kaiwing will go in, commit his life, and it's going to be the kill picked up. Amazing amounts of damage coming through from M&M. I want to see a replay on that after the game to see what happened to Prage.
I think Prage just might have died to a Heartsteel auto. I'm honestly not sure.
I think